Mr. Speaker, first of all, I'm aware that the entire government is in the US. So I was looking across the aisle and seeing some of the most vociferous defenders of this government. I thought they would be on this trip, but they are here celebrating International Tea Day with us. This should be a clear lesson that shouting horse from the other side will not endear you to the presidency, Mr. Speaker. Number two, I'm a bit confused, Mr. Speaker, on this International Tea Day. Should it be...
Point of order, Senator Chalgay.
Mr. Speaker, you cannot allow Senator Sifuna to be cantankerous. Mr. Speaker, under Section 105, Parliament and Senate Mwaso is an independent arm of government. The trip, Mr. Speaker, is undertaken by the National Executive. Is it in order to try and cast aspersions by indicating that any trip that is taken outside Parliament or outside by the Executive should be taken with parliamentarians? Yet we have our own budget and we are independent arm of government. Is he making it in good faith, Mr. Speaker? Or is jealousy that he was left out of the trip? Can he be clear?
Senate.
Honorable Speaker, I want members of this House to reflect on their own standing. When you are only invited to trips to the goat auction in Mogosho, but others are taken to the US, you should reflect on your standing within your own party. Mr. Speaker, the second point I wanted clarity on is whether in celebrating this International Tea Day, we are celebrating the growers or the drinkers. Because if it is the drinkers of tea, that debate should be properly anchored by Senator Osotsi from Vihiga and myself as the leading Luya leaders in this House, who are known to be the highest consumers of this product. I don't know what Cherargei knows about tea more than Senator Osotsi, because Osotsi both grows the tea and drinks tea heavily, Honorable Speaker. So my concern really is that clarity. Maybe the maker of that statement can tell us, are we celebrating the drinkers or the growers? Thirdly, Honorable Speaker, I was a bit surprised hearing the head of state speak the other day, and he said that he is not aware of any Kenyan tea brand. I have grown up drinking Ketepa, knowing this is Kenyan tea. I would like some clarity on these matters from the maker of this statement, Honorable Speaker. Does Kenya have a Kenyan brand of tea? What is this I've been drinking? Is Ketepa from Sri Lanka? Honorable Speaker, finally, I want to encourage the leadership of the areas, Nandi and even Bomet, where this tea is grown, to also reflect on the resolution of the disputes that we have seen, especially regarding foreign companies that have been holding land in those areas and have been growing tea all these years. At the beginning of this term of Parliament, there were very serious incidents in Bomet and in Nandi, where even people lost their lives and machinery was destroyed, property of immense value was destroyed. Honorable Speaker, we never hear from Cherargei how that matter was resolved. In fact, the protests there were more violent, and we didn't see the sort of police action being taken on people in Nandi and people in Bomet who are burning property and destroying property owned by these companies, Honorable Speaker. So as we celebrate this International Tea Day, please let us reflect on all these matters so that we as a country can protect this very key source of foreign exchange and this industry that employs thousands of Kenyans. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Matinga Wahome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I also like to make a comment on this statement. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, sir, I come from a tea-growing region, and we produce some of the best quality tea in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, the problem that we've been facing as farmers across board is that we've never taken a firm position on how we can empower our farmers, be it tea, be it coffee, be it avocado, be it macadamia. Indeed, tomorrow, as we reflect on tea consumers and tea growers, we must ask ourselves, what is it that we've done for the tea farmers? Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm happy to report that for the first time, before this House, in the Agricultural Committee, we dealt with the tea bill and improved on it to ensure that we empower the farmers, and we by involving the county government, and more important, Mr. Speaker, sir, creating mechanisms where farmers can seek and access markets directly internationally. But as we do that, Mr. Speaker, it is also important to ask ourselves whether we've been doing enough to ensure that value addition in our produce, be it tea, be it coffee, be it macadamia, be it avocado, whether it does justice to our farmers. Mr. Speaker, sir, with a bit of attention and the diversity of knowledge in this House, we can be able to unleash our farmers by ensuring that the value chain that will unleash the farmers gets down there. As we also do that, it is important also to report that for the first time, we have a government in place that is and has come with a lot of political goodwill to ensure that the farmers of this country do not only get their rightful dues, but they do access and they are represented in the markets, in the boards that have been formed, and their voice is heard. Mr. Speaker, sir, for a long time, farmers have been left in the peripheral. Decisions have been made in Nairobi, they've been implemented down there. But now, with the transformative bottom-up economic approach, now farmers are participatory and in a collaborative manner being engaged so that they become decision makers for the decisions that will influence them. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, sir, we've seen the Kenya Kwanza government strengthen the cooperative movement through its leadership, and that will ensure that farmers are able to live from their collective bargain by ensuring that they pull together their resources so that they can make better bargains and also achieve economies of scale. Finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, we've also seen that the government has endeavored to bring affordable fertilizer, subsidized fertilizer, though there are some people who had tried to abuse the mechanism. It has indeed improved the yield, and that is evidently clear. We can see that from the previous harvests, we have better yield, better quality, and most importantly, the farmers have been able to increase their income. And with that, Mr. Speaker, sir, I support. Thank you.
Senator Buru Oginga.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also used to grow coffee in Nandi, and I still have, I'm a farmer in Nandi, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to comment about this International Tea Day, because, Mr. Speaker, Kenya produces very high quality tea. And internationally, Mr. Speaker, Kenyan tea, it's used for blending other low quality teas. And so much so, Mr. Speaker, that countries like Great Britain, which do not grow even a single tree of tea, have what is called English tea. And English tea is sold as one of the best teas in the world, Mr. Speaker. And yet Britain does not even have a single tree of tea in their country. Mr. Speaker, this is because of the trade barriers. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to protectionism, internationally, even in the WTOs, it is a very, very big argument that the developed countries where we export our goods, they want us to continue as appendages of supply of raw materials to their industries, thus creating jobs in their own countries. And Mr. Speaker, they want us to be exporting raw tea. That is why I think Honorable Sifuna was asking, where is the Kenyan branded tea? I mean, what is the brand of Kenyan tea internationally? Internationally, we might not have. We only have Ketepa here locally, Mr. Speaker. But when you want to export tea, processed tea, high quality tea of Kenya, they put very high tariff barriers on the teas so that you cannot access their market with those very high tariffs that they put on the tea. So they come here in Mombasa, tea is auctioned raw, and Mr. Speaker, our farmers don't get value for their sweat. Mr. Speaker, it is high time that we negotiated jointly as Africans and as the third world and agreed on how to pressurize that market, because they bring their goods here. with very, very low tariffs. We give them very, very nice terms under the EU agreements and so on and so forth. But when we want to send, because we don't have so much industries, Mr. Speaker, our only exports are agriculture. So when it comes to agriculture, they want you to just supply raw materials raw without value addition, Mr. Speaker. And they make it extremely difficult for you to access their market if you process, if you do value addition. Mr. Speaker, this is the area where we should work on together with all the other countries together so that we can access those markets with the value-added goods, Mr. Speaker, so that our farmers and our people can get better value for our sweat and for our money, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Let's go now to Bungoma County.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa nafasi hii. Mheshimiwa Spika, wengi wametaja na kusifia kunywa ama kubugia chai, aina yoyote ya chai. Lakini Mheshimiwa Spika, katika kizazi hiki katika serikali ya Kenya Kwanza, japo tunasherehekea siku ya kimataifa ya chai, lazima tuhakikishe kwamba katika vitongoji vya nchi hii wakulima na wanywaji wa chai wanajivunia vinywaji hivi. Mheshimiwa Spika, katika bonde la Ufa katika Mlima Kenya, miundombinu na msingi imewekwa imara kwa linda wakulima wa majani chai na viwanda vya majani chai. Lakini katika mkoa wa Magharibi, Mheshimiwa Spika, mambo ni tofauti. Japo tunasherehekea kimataifa, kimashinani watu wa mkoa wa Magharibi wana maswali ya kuuliza. Katika mkoa wa Magharibi, hususan Mlima Elgon na vitongoji vya Bungoma, tulikubaliana na serikali kwamba ni lazima ama ni sharti kuwe na viwanda ama kiwanda katika mlima ili wakulima wa majani chai katika eneo hilo waweze kufurahia kama wenzio katika sehemu mbalimbali za nchi ya Kenya. Hadi sasa mfumo wa makadirio ya kifedha yamepita, lakini bado tunaishi kwa matumaini. Tunataraji kwamba isiwe hadithi ya matumaini ya mbwa kutamatika pale mlango unapofungwa na mlango wa jikoni, Mheshimiwa Spika. Sasa